Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. I apologize that I still have my sunglasses on. My pink eye is definitely on the road of recovery, and I should be able to get rid of these sunglasses pretty soon. And when I was growing up, I really enjoy a chicken dish, and it's simply, sometimes it called it Hainan chicken. It is nothing more just than boiled chicken. Over the years, I have tried to make this chicken, but I was never really quite successful, and it is a hit and miss. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And then I got a secret from a friend of mine, and I will call him Mr. Lee for the purpose of this video. It turned out that all about techniques. Making a minor change, this dish works. Okay, let's go into the kitchen and see what we could do. I learned to cook this version of Hainan chicken from a friend of mine, and I will call him Mr. Lee for the purpose of this video. Mr. Lee not only an excellent cook, but he is also a very thrifty cook. He told me that the best part of the chicken to cook this dish is using the chicken drumstick. Not only it has the best flavor and texture, because it's also very inexpensive. I bought this family pack of chicken drumsticks. They were at only about 99 cents a pound, so the whole bag cost less than $5. From this package, I get out about 14 drumsticks. So I'm going to use half of it, and I'm going to freeze the remaining half for later use. After I try out this approach using the chicken drumstick, I agree with Mr. Lee completely that they are the best cut for this dish. This dish is deceptively simple to cook because all you have to do is just to boil the chicken in water. But as Mr. Lee explained to me, the trick is that how do you boil the chicken in such a way that they will not become tough and stringy. I'm going to use my 14-inch Cucina stainless steel wok to boil the chicken. And the one thing about the wok is it has a lid, so I can put the lid on and that will allow the water to boil a little bit faster. For this dish, I'm going to cook half of the chicken leg that I got from the package. So I'm going to put in 6 chicken legs. The water is in full boil when I put the chicken legs into the wok. Of course, after you put the chicken legs, it reduces the temperature of the water and the boiling start to subside. As Mr. Lee explained to me, is that when you cook this chicken, if you want the chicken to stay tender, is that you want the temperature hover just right around boiling. According to Mr. Lee, when the water temperature is just below or around boiling, the muscle of the chicken will not become tough and stringy. Mr. Lee showed me how to control this temperature. He told me that if you see the water start to boil too much, you just add some water to it and that will cool it down right away. And then you simply repeat this cycle over and over again. But at times you have too much water, then you need to remove some of the water from the wok so that it will not become overfilled. Here again shows that the water comes to boil again. So what I did is that I add some more cold water to it, and it cools down the boiling almost immediately. Mr. Lee told me that this might appear to be labor intensive, but he thought it's perfectly worth it because it makes the chicken taste much better using this approach. Because without using this method, the chicken could be easily overcooked. Now, how do you tell the chicken is ready or not? There are several ways you can tell. Probably one of the simplest way to tell whether the chicken is already cooked is to check the temperature. The internal temperature of the chicken could be checked with a digital thermometer, such as I'm using here right now. It should be around 175 to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Mr. Lee showed me another way to check the chicken's doneness is simply by looking at its appearance. Now he showed me here if the chicken start to split, you look at the muscle start to peel away from the bone. That's a good indication they are almost done. He told me that he doesn't use a digital thermometer for all these years. He just do it by looking at their appearance. And he said now he can tell pretty good when they are done. And he is usually about 90% on the spot. He told me that the next step is really important. When you think the chicken is ready, then you transfer them to a bowl of water. He recommended to transfer to a bowl of ice cold water because this will stop the cooking of the chicken immediately, and he believed that will keep the flesh of the chicken tender. Then you wait for about 15 minutes and let the chicken cool down, and then you strip the meat from the bone. And he said if the chicken is cooked just right, you can see the meat come off readily. He also told me that the chicken is properly cooked. When you take the meat off, they look slightly pink, but without any blood associated with the bone. So next, then he cut up the chicken and he aligned them and put them into a serving plate. I discovered that the best way for me to handle the chicken is use my finger. So I use a pair of food service gloves on my left hand. The traditional way to garnish this dish is use a dipping sauce which is based on scallions. So I cut up a bunch of scallion earlier. Now there are many different ways to create this sauce, but the scallion seems to be the critical factor in creating a sauce for this chicken. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to only use scallions, but in other situations, I will use some ginger, minced ginger, and I will also use minced garlic to make the sauce. But right now, I only have scallion in the refrigerator, but I think it will do a pretty good job. This sauce is very easy to make. What I do is that I take the scallions and I put them into a large mixing bowl, and then I heat up some oil. It is important that the oil, when it hits the scallions, it should sizzle, and if it is not, it means that your oil is not hot enough. The most important component for season this sauce is by adding just salt. You want to add enough salt that it actually tastes pretty salty to you, because that will make this chicken taste good. And then you can season it a little bit further. In my case, that I'm going to add a little bit of light soy sauce that will further enhance the richness of the flavor. Now you can serve this sauce in two different ways. Traditionally, the sauce actually is put on the side as a dipping sauce. But the other way you can also serve it is that you can add the sauce directly to the chicken. Personally, I prefer the sauce separate from the chicken and use it as a dipping sauce. But sometimes when you have a dinner party or you're serving this dish on a table, it is nice to have the sauce already added to the chicken. This is how Mr. Lee served this dish every time when I go to his house for dinner. But he also adds another thing. He will grate some carrot. The carrot is mainly just to add some color to the dish. The color makes the dish more interesting. You would never guess that this is a humble boiled chicken leg. This is definitely one of my favorite dish. I usually keep them in the refrigerator, and when I want to have a quick dinner, I just warm up some rice and I serve the cold chicken right next to the rice. Most of the time, I will fry an egg to put over them. I really enjoy this dish. In many ways, it is my comfort food. When I have a dish like this, it just gives me a lift in my spirit. I think this dish provides an excellent example of flavor chasing, that you go after a particular flavor because the way how you enjoy it, and you look for a way to achieve it. And in this case, the texture of the chicken turned out to be paramount. So to enjoy food, there are many things that you actually go after, not just flavor, but also aroma. And in this particular case, you go after the texture of the food ingredients. For me, home cooking has become an important part, in fact, a substantial part of my life, partly because of the flavor chasing. Now I am able to cook food that I truly enjoy. I constantly look for ways to make improvement. Therefore, in my cooking classes, I always told my student the most important thing that you need to do is to cook the food that you enjoy. And you must continue to do flavor chasing. And I know you could and you would become your own very best cook. When that happens, there's no reason for you to have other people to cook for you. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. See you next time.